Welcome to Mysterious Encounters. Tonight's case file examines the legend of Osiris, the god who became ruler of the underworld and the eternal symbol of rebirth. Long before pyramids pierced the desert sky, long before empires rose and collapsed along the Nile, the ancient Egyptians believed the world was ruled by gods. Not distant gods, not silent gods, but rulers who walked among humanity. And among them, one figure stood above the rest, a king, a judge, a god who would come to rule something far more powerful than life itself. His name was Osiris, and his story is one of death, betrayal, and resurrection. A story that would shape Egyptian civilization for thousands of years. According to ancient Egyptian mythology, Osiris was not simply a god of the dead. He was once a king, a ruler who governed Egypt during a mythical golden age. During this time, the world was very different. Humans lived without order, without laws, without the knowledge needed to build a civilization. And it was Osiris who changed that. Ancient texts describe him as a wise and just ruler. He taught humanity how to grow crops, how to build cities, how to live within laws. Some stories even say he traveled across distant lands, spreading knowledge and civilization wherever he went. In many ways, Osiris was seen not just as a god, but as the bringer of order, the architect of culture itself. But every story of power eventually attracts something darker, jealousy. And in the myth of Osiris, that jealousy came from someone very close to him. His brother, Set. In Egyptian mythology, Set represented chaos, storms, and disorder, where Osiris brought balance. Set brought destruction, and as Osiris's influence grew, so did Set's hatred. The ancient story tells of a plot, a carefully crafted betrayal. Set created a beautiful chest, decorated with gold and intricate carvings. During a royal celebration, he presented it to the guests as a game. Anyone who could fit perfectly inside the chest could keep it as a prize. One by one, the guests tried. None fit, until Osiris stepped forward. When he lay inside the chest, the trap was sprung. The lid slammed shut. Set sealed the chest and cast it into the Nile River. The king of Egypt was gone. But the story of Osiris does not end with death. In fact, it begins there, because Osiris was not alone. His wife Isis refused to accept his fate. Isis was known as one of the most powerful deities in Egyptian mythology, a master of magic, a protector, and a goddess whose determination would reshape the myth forever. According to the legend, Isis searched across the world for the body of Osiris, through deserts, through foreign lands, through kingdoms beyond Egypt, until finally, she found the chest containing her fallen husband. But Set discovered the recovery, and in a final act of rage, he destroyed the body. The remains of Osiris were scattered across the land. In many ancient traditions, this moment represents the ultimate end. But Egyptian mythology tells a very different story. Because Isis refused to give up, using powerful magic, she gathered the scattered pieces. She restored the body, and through ritual, she brought Osiris back to life. But not as he was before. Osiris did not return to rule the world of the living. Instead, he became something else, something far more mysterious. He became ruler of the afterlife. From that moment forward, Osiris became the judge of the dead, the god who determined the fate of every soul that entered the underworld. And this belief became one of the most important foundations of Egyptian religion. According to Egyptian tradition, every person would eventually face a trial, a moment of judgment, before Osiris himself. In this moment, the heart of the deceased would be placed upon a scale. On the other side of the scale was a feather, the feather of truth, associated with Mat, the goddess of balance and cosmic order. If the heart was lighter than the feather, the soul was allowed to enter eternal life. But if the heart was heavy with wrongdoing, the soul would face a far darker fate. This idea shaped the entire moral structure of Egyptian civilization. For thousands of years, people lived with the belief that their actions in life would eventually be judged. And the judge, was Osiris. Ancient tomb paintings often show him seated upon a throne in the underworld, wrapped like a mummy, crowned with the white crown of Upper Egypt, holding the crook and flail, symbols of kingship, a reminder that, even in death, Osiris remained a king. But the story holds another layer of symbolism, because Osiris was not just the god of the dead, he was the god of rebirth, the god of the eternal cycle. Death leading to life, destruction leading to transformation. Every year when the Nile River flooded the land, Egyptians saw the same pattern. Fields died beneath the water, but when the waters receded, new life emerged, crops grew again, the land was reborn. To them, this was the story of Osiris repeating itself, over and over again. In this way, Osiris became more than a mythological figure. He became a symbol of renewal, a symbol of resurrection, and perhaps one of the earliest stories in human history to explore the idea that death is not the end. Even thousands of years later, the image of Osiris still appears in ancient temples, on tomb walls, inside burial chambers hidden beneath the desert sands, a reminder that the ancient Egyptians believed the greatest mystery of all was not life, but what waits beyond it. And in their mythology, the ruler of that unseen world was Osiris.